On today's episode of Locked On NHL, the only bigger joke than the Pacific Division this year, the Department of Player Safety.
You're Locked On NHL, your daily podcast on the National Hockey League. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, I'm Seth Toupal. He's JD Young. Welcome to Locked On NHL. On today's episode, we will take a look at Nikita Kucherov sliding up the rankings for the Hart Trophy. Has his recent performance put him in the lead as far as Hart Trophy contenders go? We will also take a look at the Pacific Division, labeled a pillow fight by Connor McDavid. What does that mean for the Utah Mammoths' chances to make a deep postseason run? And we will start today's show by talking about the biggest joke of all, the Department of Player Safety, as another weak enforcement of a suspension for the Department of Player Safety. JD, we have talked about this many times on this show. And we just continue to get completely soft punishments being handed out for dangerous plays.
Yeah, I didn't grow up playing hockey. Grew up in the South, not a lot of rinks around, couldn't afford it. But that I think is something they teach pretty early on, to not just go up behind somebody and just cross check them 10 feet away from the board so they go head first into it. Yeah, that felt like a horrible play. And it's not like AJ Greer is, oh man, that's very out of character for AJ Greer. Not something we've seen from him. Momentary lapse of judgment. No, AJ Greer definitely has had his fair share of run-ins with suspensions and fines and such. And the entire Florida Panthers organization has also had their fair share of suspension, or not suspensions. God forbid the Department of Player Safety actually did anything against the beloved Florida Panthers. But this is a organization that has gotten its fair share of fines and has been in its fair share of hot water with plays like this. And it felt like this could have been a moment where the Department of Player Safety could have showed a spine and was like, guys, we know your style of hockey, right? You're going to play up to the whistle and maybe even a little bit after, but we can't tolerate this. And especially in a down year where the Panthers aren't going to make the playoffs, you could have easily have tried to set a precedent, thrown the book at him 10 games till the end of the season, something like that, and just to try to rein back in what you have now let loose as just a juggernaut of nonsense from the Florida Panthers. And seeing online just the highlights or lowlights of some of the stuff that they've done, and 95% of it, of course, against the Tampa Bay Lightning. But you have to, well, you don't have to, because clearly you don't have to, because the Department of Player Safety doesn't do anything. But there's no place for plays like this in hockey, let alone the NHL, any league of hockey. There's no place for plays like this.
Just looking at some of the recent suspensions that have been handed out here for this season. So you have the most recent one that was, at least in this article, listed was Bobby McMahon, who had the high sticking on December 8th. Mm-hmm. He ended up getting a 1-game suspension there. Mikko Rantanen in November, he got a 5-minute and a game misconduct for that. He got a 1-game suspension. Jonathan Drouin got a 1-game suspension for cross-checking on October 9th. JJ Moser got 2 games on the 4th, and then Scott Sabouin got 4 games.
Scott Sabourin, sorry.
Thank you for
Barracuda legend Scott Sabrin, friend of Locked On Sharks Scott Sabrin. Then also Radko Gudas recently for his knee-on-knee 5 games for Austin Matthews, who of course is out for 12 weeks because of an MCL tear. So yes, George Parros is like, my work here is done, fellas. Look at all this work I did.
My general stance on this situation that is only going to be remedied by going up above and beyond for you have to make an example out of somebody.
Yeah. Because
you have to draw a line in the sand that you don't want these types of plays to happen. Jason Robertson had one against the Minnesota Wild where he sent Quinn Hughes face first into the boards. You got a 2-minute penalty. They showed a video shot of him in the penalty box going like, yeah, I definitely did what they're putting me in the box for. Mm-hmm. But like those types of hits, I mean, you see the replay and Zary just goes like head first into the boards. And am I correct that was a play that the league was that they are in theory trying to get rid of that? Are they not?
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, I think recent GM meetings, like headshots, is the league doing enough to do headshots? And I guess all the GMs are just like, yeah, why not? I mean, the same thing happened to Celebrini against Montreal, where he's skating, like he's looking for it, and someone just comes across and cuts him off and hits him in the head. And it's just like, what? These are your star, like these types of players are your star play. These are why people come to the game, right? Is to come watch guys like Quinn Hughes or Macklin Celebrini. I know we're being extremely homer here, but like pick your star player, right? You come to watch these guys do great things night in, night out. And when you have a segment of the population doing things like what AJ Greer is doing here, it's not a good look for the league. And then when you see things like the Department of Player Safety continually not look out for player safety, it's just the players know, like, we can get away with this stuff. Like we can easily get away with this stuff. And again, for Greer here, you had an opportunity to really kind of set a standard going into the playoffs and then going into next season of like, guys, we can't tolerate this type of stuff anymore. Like, this is over the line. It's clearly over the line. You get anybody who's watched hockey or not watched hockey and see this play and go like, yeah, that doesn't seem like a normal hockey play that should be in our game. And yeah, 3 games is an absolute joke. An absolute joke.
I forgot about the Evgeny Malkin slashing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one too. Yeah.
He got 5 for that.
Yeah.
Now that was
just very
pretty blatant.
Yeah.
But I would argue even there that 5 is probably not enough. It just you have to lay down the line that this kind of stuff is not going to be tolerated. Otherwise, players are going to do stuff like that and know that there is about a 90% chance, maybe more, 90% chance that they're going to get hit with a parking ticket as far as fines go, because that's the other part of it, is the fine system is ridiculous.
Oh, it's the funniest thing. Yeah, he's fined $2,500 maximum, but yeah. And like, I get, the PA and stuff, like that's their job, is to look out for the players, and like they're going to try to make sure that those fines are as small as possible. But at some time, you also have to kind of look out for the players by making sure the fines actually do something to help prevent. And $2,500, yes, I know, like NHL players don't make the most amount of money, but still, like when you're seeing like $5,000 fines and stuff, like it's not a proportionate amount of fine to what these, like the actions that are occurring here, especially when you see like in the NFL, guys are getting fined like $15,000 for wearing the wrong socks or something like that. It's just, it just seems like the system is out of whack and continues to be so. And unfortunately, feels like until George Parros is no longer working for the league, it's probably not going to change. So
I did find it interesting that the Hockey News took a look at some potential candidates to serve as the next head of the Department of Player Safety, and they immediately start the article with Brendan Shanahan.
Great.
But they also list Chris Pronger, Paul Correa, Eric Lindros, Ryan Getzlaf.
Eric Lindros is my all-time favorite player. Like, I do love Eric Lindros, but man.
And then a non-player such as an IIHF representative or former NHL official, which
you and I both know it's going to be Rafi Torres.
Oh my God. The other part of this that I think would assist is by having a pool reporter to be able to, or at least it doesn't even have to be a pool reporter, just having a reporter that can ask the Department of Player Safety for their reasoning as to why particular plays were judged the way that they were.
Yeah. Or some other
accountability.
Yeah, some other checks and balances and accountability would be great. But Seth, I feel like we're asking for the moon here.
We are. So we'll just take what we have and hope that is going to be enough. When we come back, we are going to discuss the Pacific Division, the epic way that Connor McDavid described it, and what it means for the Utah Mammoth as they try to keep pace with the top three in the Central. We'll discuss all that as we continue today's episode of Locked On NHL after this. Today's episode of Locked On NHL is brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like being in an NBA arena. The crowd, the energy, and of course, the moment. Getting tickets, though, that part has not always been so simple. That's why Game Time has become the go-to app for scoring tickets fast, without the hassle. It puts the advantage back where it belongs, with the fans. Game Time offers you so many amazing ways to save, whether it be their all-in price up front, no more hidden fees blindsiding you at checkout. I love the zone deals. You choose the section you want to sit in, and Game Time will pick the seats for you and save you even more money. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That's code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today, and remember, it's gametime.co. Gametime.co. Welcome back to today's episode of Locked On NHL. Once again, we thank you for making Locked On NHL your first listen each and every day. We are your team each and every day as well. We want to take this time to remind you that you can sign up for the Everydayer Club for ad-free editions of your favorite Locked On shows, as well as access to our Locked On Everydayer Club Discord server. The information is in the show notes of your favorite Locked On shows. They all have specific ways for you to join. So check out your favorite Locked On show and find more details on joining the Everydayer Club. You know what the Everydayer Club is not? A pillow fight, as Connor McDavid so eloquently described.
Speak for yourself in the Locked On Sharks Discord channel.
You guys slanging pillows over there?
Yes, it's a very lovely, tight community over there. Yes, so
the Pacific Division. The funniest part is that Connor McDavid is not wrong here.
He's 100% right. It's great.
Pacific Division is a joke.
It's like It's such a beautiful mess in the Pacific, right? And like Pacific Division hockey, it's always been kind of like this, but because usually the like Vegas and Edmonton are good, it kind of makes up that, right? You have you have plenty of tanking teams, and you've had teams who've been going through rebuilds, but like at least those two teams made it respectable. But now it's the NFC South of hockey right now, where it's going to be and there's just so many funny things to like look at, like the Kings, who have like 16 overtime losses in this. Like that's their thing. Like that's their thing. They're going to tie the game of play. They're going to get to overtime, and then they're going to happily take their loser point and continue to be in the race right now. Like my fans and stuff are like constantly like, the Sharks just need to kind of like, tank out the rest of the season and try to get a high draft pick. The problem is they can't even do that because the entire division's taking. Yeah. Like the Sharks are literally in a position where they're either going to make the playoffs and pick like 17th in the draft or 16th in the draft because the Sens pick. Because I fully expect them to just get blown out in the first round by Colorado. Okay. Or they're going to pick like 7th in the draft because of everybody else in the Eastern Conference just has better point percentages. So it's a perfect place to be if you're a fan of a team like San Jose. But yeah, it's absolutely hilarious. No, like last week on Thursday, the Pacific went 0-for-6. Like this weekend on Saturday, the Kings were the 6 of the teams played, and the Kings got 1 point. The only team to register a point, the Kings got an overtime loss. Like this, it is hilarious. But like, I mean, the real reasoning for it, because I did this on one of my like all access shows. You can go check that out. But is because you have kind of a changing of the guard here in the Pacific, right? You have Edmonton and you have Vegas, who are both starting to kind of show some cracks in the foundation, right? Vegas has been a team that's very much been kind of maxing out the credit card bill. And I think you're starting to kind of see like, okay, the depth isn't quite there. The goaltending isn't quite there this year. So they've taken a step back, right? Edmonton, kind of same thing, right? The depth isn't quite there. The goaltending is not there, but you're seeing the teams rise like the Sharks and the Ducks, who have been bad for the last couple seasons. So they're starting to kind of make their rise here. And then you have teams like the Flames and the Canucks, who both just kind of cratered this year. And so, yeah, and then you have Seattle and LA, who are both happy to play 500 hockey and get 80 points and see what goes from there. So it's just a changing of the guard this year.
The Los Angeles Kings, have the second fewest regulation wins in the entire NHL.
Yeah, and they're like 2 points out of a playoff spot right now.
In their last 32 games, they have 7 regulation wins.
Yeah. They have like 10 regulation wins at home this year. That's like 23-24 San Jose Sharks status right there. This for a team that was like insanely good at home over the last couple of years, like just regression like crazy.
If you add the losses and overtime losses together, they have 42 losses this year.
Yeah. Like they'd have to win out. They can't even play. Even if they won out, regulation wins the rest of the year, even overtime, wins, they couldn't even get to 500 hockey, like 500. It's great.
Let's say they win out in regulation, that would get them to 30 regulation wins. The Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars already have that.
Yeah, and then that too, right? You have like, with the Central, like those 3 teams just kind of like sucking up all the points there, it kind of creates this vacuum here of a just mushy middle Pacific. So
it's a rotten apple, to say the least.
Was that?
It's a rotten apple, to say the least.
Oh, it's great. I 100% love it because you're never out of it. You are never out of it any night. Like the Sharks haven't won a game in like a week, and they're still within striking distance of a playoff spot here. So, but I think the big question we were talking about beforehand is the Mammoth, who are pretty much locked up that number 1 wild card spot. are they the favorites to come out of the Pacific? Because you're going to play either Vegas or Anaheim, like whoever, it doesn't matter. Vegas, Anaheim, or Edmonton, like any of those teams. I think Anaheim's currently the leader at the moment here. An Anaheim team that's got a lot of young players and going through a playoff push. I guess Utah's also the same going through, but like you're going to play that the first round, and then you're going to play the winner of Edmonton, Vegas, and those teams have plenty of stars, but also plenty of issues, like
major warts.
Like the Mammoth, I feel like it would have to be the favorites to come out of the Pacific Division as the four. Like maybe they're just like, you know what? We see what you guys got going on here in the Central. We'll just slide on over here. It's fine. We want none of that Central business. You'll let you guys beat yourselves up, and then we'll take on whoever's left here.
I think there is certainly something to be said about that, because between Vegas and Edmonton, do they have one good goalie between the two of them?
Yeah, it's been bad, man.
So yeah, it certainly looks like the easier path, but it's I just kind of wonder if Vegas can find the switch, or if they if they blew the fuse.
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for it to like happen at some point. With Vegas, is just like how you can't
keep getting away with it.
You can only charge the credit card so many times here before it comes back declined, and you wonder if this is the year where it kind of comes back declined here. So even if they get to the play, they'll most likely get to the playoffs here, but they're not going to be the same team heading into the playoffs. So watch now. We say this, they're definitely going on a run. They're going to win the Stanley Cup because
as it stands right now, is there any team that Vegas would be favored against other than Edmonton?
Yeah.
Would they be favored against Nashville? I don't think so. They maybe be a
probably. I would say it would be slight favorite against Nashville because they're going to be the home, like they are going to have. But it's not like that. That's a 50-50 series right there. Yeah, it's a coin flip series. So
yeah, they're as the 2 seed, and they are woefully. They're 32 and 39 on the season.
Leave my baby alone. It's beautiful in its own special way. It's beautiful in its own special way.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, everybody says oh, that baby's beautiful. The Pacific is not a pretty child. It's not a beautiful child.
The Pacific Division is the one where you hold up the picture of the baby to your mom or your grandma, and they react to it, and they're like, "Oh," and you're like, "You're on FaceTime." They're like, "Oh, looks great."
It's the dragon meme, like the 3 scary dragons and the one goofy dragon in the Pacific is, it's great. We had the Pac-12 died so the Pacific Division could run.
The Pac-12 died so the Pacific Division could also die. And they did not disappoint.
They did not disappoint.
You know what the Pacific Division needs, though? Particularly the Vegas Golden Knights, Nikita Kucherov, who has vaulted himself into, I think, the lead as far as the Hart Trophy consideration goes.
Yes.
We'll take stock.
We'll look at the odds too
of who is in contention for the Hart Trophy after a monster week for Mr. Kucherov. We'll talk about all that as we finish today's episode of Locked on NHL right after this.
What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction market changes the game. It's people moving the action. And so when the momentum shifts, you can move with it. If you always knew the game but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge, now you can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play-by-play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Final segment of today's episode of Locked On NHL. Once again, we thank you for making Locked On NHL your first listen each and every day. And talking now about what it looks like initially was going to be like a 1 or 2 player race early on in the season. We got a whole field of contenders as far as the Hart Trophy is concerned. And
2 of the 4 top odds are from the Pacific Bay. Let's go. Pacific hockey.
Make it make sense. I don't understand.
So Nikita Kucherov, who on our good friends at FanDuel, currently has the best odds, slight best odds at -110, followed up by Nathan MacKinnon, who's at -105. And then it goes to McDavid and Celebrini, who are both at +1900. So very much is down to kind of a 2-person race here, potentially, but McDavid and Celebrini kind of on the outside, like still within here. And if maybe they have strong ends to their season, could make up some ground here, especially if Celebrini can drag the Sharks to the, I think that's for Celebrini, if he drags the Sharks to the playoffs, I think he's going to get plenty of Hart conversation votes there. But Kucherov, man, what a week Mr. Kucherov had as he visited the Pacific Northwest and Western Canada here, as he went absolutely bananas. I think he had a 5-point game against the Kraken, and then he turns around. He has a 4-point game the other night, has taken over the points lead in the NHL, which felt like it was either going to be McDavid or MacKinnon kind of running away with this thing. Nikita Kucherov just comes storming back here. So is he we got, like 3 weeks left in here. If you, Seth, had a vote and you had to vote today, is he your MVP?
I mean, I think I would lean that way because of where the other teams are at. Like, are you going to give it to? Are you really going to give it to Connor McDavid as the Oilers continue to fall in the standings? Like, he's not going to win it with them being a wild card team.
Yeah.
So I would
be the 3, but still, yeah. It feels very Aaron Rodriguez winning it, like as like the worst team. Like, yeah.
I mean, you certainly can make the case for Nathan MacKinnon, who's had just a monster season.
Yeah, but like my always thing is like, I hate to do it, but like if you took Nathan MacKinnon off the Avalanche, like that team's still really good.
Yeah,
like really, really. Are they the best team in the league or one of the top 2 best team in the league? Probably not. But are they still like one of the like 6 or 7 best teams in the league? Without Nathan MacKinnon, probably. So like that's it's a hard thing, right? He's easily one of the best players in the league, but like the value part of it to me is what makes it, like that's why again, like very homer pick, like Celebrini. If you took Macklin Celebrini off the San Jose Sharks, this is one of the worst teams in the league, and you could still argue without, like even with Celebrini, there's still a very bad team that kind of rides on a lot of luck here, but this is a team that's still in playoff contention for it's the Sharks, who are the worst team 2 years in a row. Like that's where I come from. I don't think he wins it, but like I think he gets consideration. But with Kucherov, like this Lightning team, we've talked about before. This is a team that's really kind of pieced together, especially on the blue line right here. And like Hagels and Point have both kind of had up and down seasons. You've lost Victor Hedman for a good chunk of this year, and even when he's been back, he hasn't been the same guy. But he just like Kucherov just keeps on ticking here. And I think if you took Kucherov off the Lightning, I don't know if they're anywhere near as good as they are.
No, he has been he's been kind of the needed fixture in that lineup to be able to just kind of keep all the pieces moving together in the same direction.
What's Cam Fowler's odds?
Cam Fowler's odds
minus 10,000 lock of the season.
Over 10,000.
Yeah, not allowed to put him on there. It's unfair to the rest of the players to have Cam Fowler in the mix. So,
yeah, it's gonna be a fascinating race to see how it unfolds, because I think it is probably Kucherov at this point, but I would say it'll be Kucherov, then MacKinnon, and then after that, probably Celebrini if they make the playoffs.
Yeah, I can see that. So
that'd be how I would rank it, at least.
Yeah. That feels fair. If they make the playoffs, they got their work cut out for him here. But I mean, especially for what he's doing, the stuff that Celebrini's doing at the age of 19, like, is being mentioned among like Gretzky and Crosby and players like that. Again, on a very suspect San Jose Sharks team. So, it's. I think the last not over. I think the last 3 weeks here are going to play a big part of who wins the MVP. But we're getting down to the home stretch here. So, before we finish, something that very near and dear to our hearts. Just wanted to shout out our good friend who we lost, Jessi Pierce. I know you did a whole thing on it here. Jessi, friend of the show, been on my show, way back in the day, Dubnik Island days. But just the outpouring of support and love and that we're seeing throughout the hockey community. Just as a reminder, hug your loved ones, because you never know when something's going to happen. And I know my heart, I know you've been devastated. I've talked to you over the past couple of days here too, but hug your loved ones. And so our thoughts and prayers and love and support go out to her family and friends and everyone who's going through right now. But it's been a wonderful response from everybody in the NHL and everybody in the hockey community, seeing all the great stories. I love the pictures of her with her child talking to Mikael Granlund, like those type of pictures there. And, larger than life. We were talking about before, just the confidence and that she carried herself was warm and welcoming to everybody, no matter who you were, would go out of her way to help you. And I know she was a huge mentor to you and kind of helped show you the ropes as you're kind of breaking into this, doing what we do here. But just thinking of Jessi, thinking of all of her friends and family. And the hockey community is not the same without her.
No, it isn't. And I've been touched to see the reaction from every team in the league, from the league itself, from different players. But, the thing that I always kind of go back to with this is I have loved to see all the tributes and everything that have come in since this happened. But make sure you're letting people know how you feel while they're around, so that they can hear it. And I'm not trying to suggest that Jessi didn't hear enough that she was appreciated. I'm sure she did. I know I told her that many times, but you never know when you will not get the opportunity to do that. And as somebody who I had become good friends with, I find myself now wishing that I had the opportunity to say anything at this point, and just still trying to wrap my head around it.
Seth,
just an unspeakable tragedy.
You're the Cam Fowler to my podcast host, so yes.
That is the only spot that we can possibly leave this. So that's going to do it for today's Locked On NHL. Once again, we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for making Locked On NHL part of your daily listening routine. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new episodes throughout the week, which we have for you every Monday through Friday as part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.